So we've just had a look at the pseudocode of the Quicksort algorithm, and so the next thing to do is get in and do a little example. And wow, when you look at this initially, it looks like a crazy thing. Let's go through it step by step. So here's our initial list, and what you basically got to do is, in this list, first thing you do is you create your three empty lists: the left list, the middle list, and the right list. And then you identify the pivot, and the pivot is always got by identifying the rightmost element in a list. Once you've identified the rightmost element, you're going to partition around this. So this basically becomes your middle list here, and you've got your left list, of course, and your right list. And so what you're going to do now is you're going to do checks with all the rest of the elements. So you're going to say, okay, 3 is this is where you do your checks. Is the element in the list, is that smaller than the pivot? Yes, it is. Add it to the left list. Is this element smaller than the, remember when you iterate around, the first one in your checks will always check if it's smaller than the pivot. Yes, it is. Add it to the left list. On to the next one, number 2, as we traverse through the list. Is this smaller than the pivot? Yes, it is. Add it to the left list. And going around the next time. Is it smaller than the pivot? No, it's not. Is it equal to the pivot? No, it's not. Is it greater than the pivot? Yes, it is. Add it to the right list. On to the next one. Is it smaller than the pivot? Yes, it is. Add it to the left list. Next one. Is it smaller than the pivot? No, it's not. Is it equal to the pivot? No, it's not. Else, it must be greater than the pivot. Add it to the right list. And the last one here, check when you're going through all the elements. Is it smaller than the pivot? Yes, it is. Add it to the left list. And that's kind of your first kind of iteration, if you like. So your first iteration is done, and you can see the middle list is now finished with, and that's going to be in your answer in the middle there. But we've still got to go now and do the quicksort on this left list. So we have to return this now, or call the function again on this one. So let's start with this one here. And again, you passing this in to the quicksort algorithm, you're going to identify the rightmost element there, which is number 1. Partition around that, so that's going to be added to your, or you identified that now. You're going to get your left list and your right list and compare the rest of them. So 3, is it smaller than 1? No, it's not. Is it equal to 1? No, it's not. Is it greater than 1? Yes, it is. Add it to the right list. 6, similarly, smaller than 1? No, it's not. Is it equal to 1? No, it's not. It's greater than 1. Add it to the right list. 2, smaller than 1? No, it's not. Equal to 1? No, it's not. Greater than 1? Add it to the right list. And similarly with 3, smaller than 1? No, it's not. Equal to 1? No, it's not. So it's greater than 1. Add it to the right list. And when you get down to nothing in the list, or to only one element in the list, you're finished with these two. These are going to be part of your list, even though you would ignore the nothing in the list that's returned. However, we've got to keep going here on this one. Break this down further. Again, now you pass this list in to the quicksort, the rightmost list in this particular strand as we're breaking down. Identify the pivot, which is the rightmost element, partition around it, go through your checks again. I've done this on purpose here now to show you again that 3 is it less than the pivot? No, it's not. Is it equal to the pivot? Yes, it is. Add it to the middle list. 6, is it smaller than the pivot? No, it's not. Is it equal to the pivot? No, it's not. Add it to the right list. 2, is it smaller than the pivot? Yes, it is. Add it to the left list. So now you're actually finished here now as well, because you only ever call the function the quicksort on the left list or the right list. So the 3 and the 3 here, the middle list, that's finished with, and basically then you start putting the stuff back together. So 2 followed by your 3, and followed by your 6. So that's the left list concatenated with the middle list, concatenated with the right list. And don't forget here that this is where you initially broke up. So you've got to join up the blank, which is ignored. You've got to join up the 1 with this here, the 2, the 3, and the 6. And that's as far as you can go so far there, even though we've got one more step to do to join up, going back to the middle, or the starting list. So we've got to finish off this fella as well. Again, identify in your right list here from the start, call the function on itself, identify the pivot. Left list, right list, compare 99 against the pivot. Is it smaller? No, it's not. Is it equal to it? No, it's not. Is it greater than it? Yes, it is. Add it to the right list. And now you can't go any further. These are your base cases. If you've nothing in the list, or you've only one thing in the list, these are your base cases. So again, putting it all together there, the blank you ignore, you've got your 55 and 99 now in order. But you started with this fella up here, so don't forget your 8. You've got to put this all back together again. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 3, 6. Don't forget your partition around your initial pivot, which is 8. And then your 55 and 99. Job done. And in the next video, just have a quick look at where the actual calling of the functions occur.